So, good day. This is the assigned topic for the group 1, which is access control. So, first is that I would like to give definition to the word access, which means permission, liberty, or the ability to enter. While the control means to have a power over, to restrain, or even contain something. So, in the fields of physical security and informative security, access control is the selective restriction of access to place or other resources. The act of accessing may mean consuming or pagkonsumo, entering, pagpasok, or using, which means paggamit. So, the next one is the picture na sinasabi kung ano yung mga words na nagko-connect or nagpapalawak sa word na access control. So, first is the PC, phone, tablet, laptop, desktop. These are the technologies in the modern world na madalas natin ginagamit, such as for accessing controls. Kasi nga, di ba, for example, your phone, which has a passwords, pins, ganon, even your emails has passwords. So, the main importance of this access control is to the business. The primary important in this words are the business and the world. So, imagine how would it be like if the world has no access control, especially to the business. So, ang mangyayari is, whether you have different positions in your business, ang mangyayari is, lahat kayo ay may access sa same information, same data, pati rin yung mga customers information, pati rin yung payroll. So, ang mangyayari is, your employee can sell you out. So, pwede kanyang traidoran. So, pwedeng ibenta yung mga impormasyon na nasa iyo, yung impormasyon ng business mo, which is napakahalaga. So, kailangan ang access control sa business and everything to protect what matters to you. So, the next one is the background of access control. So, this is considered one of the most crucial assets in the company. Access control systems hold significant value. The term access control refers to the control of access to system resources after a user's account, credentials, and identity have been authenticated and access to the system has been granted. It has security measure which is put in place to regulate the individuals that can view, use, or have access to restricted environment. So, why would be the access control is considered as the pinakamahalagang asset sa isang kumpanya? So, bakit nga ba? Ang sagot is because of the security measure na kung saan inilalagay upang isort out kung sino lang yung mga taong na maaaring tumingin, gumamit, or magkaroon ng access sa isang restricted environment. So, the next one is the various access control examples can be found in the security systems, in our doors, key locks, fences, biometric systems, motion detectors, budge system, and so forth. These controls are used to protect resources from unauthorized access and are put into place to ensure that subjects can only access objects using secure and pre-approved methods. So, noong there is a physical access control, which is the first ever technology used in access control. So, it would use physical barriers to restrict access. So, example dito is yung fences. And also, it includes trenches, walls, and other hurdles. So, yung second era naman, kasama dito yung doors, key locks, biometric system, motion detectors, and budge systems, which are the modern technology that is known as digital or logical access control technologies. So, I think that you already have the idea what is the aim or purpose of the access control, and it is to provide a level of security that minimizes risks to a business organization by helping to keep buildings, data, and people secure. So their primary purpose in this world is to prevent people at risk. So, kailangan nilang protektahan ang information ng isang may-ari, ng isang employee, ng isang customer, ng information ng iyong business to prevent from loss or to prevent from any danger. Because kapag once na ma-at risk yung information mo or ng business mo, it would be the end of your career or even of your business and other. So that's it. Yun yung importance or yung aim nung access control. So what is access control and security? Access control is a fundamental component or yung primary, or in simple term is referred as the primary ingredients of data security that dictates who's allowed to access and use company information and resources. So, dinidiktahan raw kung sino lang ang pwede para sa impormasyon ng isang kumpanya at yung mga kinakailangan. And then, through authentication and authorization, access control policies make sure users are who they say they are and that they have appropriate access to company data. It can also be applied to limit physical access to campuses, buildings, rooms, and data centers. So when we say authentication and authorization, so what is this? Yung authentication is that you have to prove that you are what you claimed you are. You have to prove that it is real, that it is authentic. So yun. Ang example ng authenticated dito sa meaning is yung make sure users are who they say they are. And then, yung authorization naman is the permission to access a resources. Ang example dito is that they have appropriate access to company data. So, the next one is the access control identifies user by verifying various login credentials, which can include usernames and passwords, PINs, biometric scans, and security tokens. Many access control systems also include multi-factor authentication, or MFA, a method that requires a multiple authentication method to verify a user's identity. Once a user is authenticated, access control then authorizes the appropriate level of access and allowed action associated with the user's credentials and IP address. So dito is that as a security is that ang ginagawa niya is kailangan niya munang i-make sure if that the person that they are claiming to be with, and then after that is that they give permission to that person pero dun lang sa level na kaya na dapat lang na ma-access nila. For example is that if you are just a regular employee is that you have the access for only regular. Yung kailangan ang alam mo lang is yung trabaho mo at yung mga impormasyon ng mga products or yung something na ng business nyo. Yun lang. And then the next one is that it keeps confidential information such as customer data, personally identifiable information, and intellectual property from falling into the wrong hands. So, iniiwasan din dito na i-keep yung information as a part of their privacy, and that iniiwasan na rin dito na mapunta yung mga mahalagang impormasyon, mahalagang data about that business sa mga maling kamay or yung mga may mga criminal intent para sa iyong business. So, it's a key component of the modern Zero Trust security framework which uses various mechanisms to continuously verify access to the company network. Without robust access control policies, organization risk data leakage from both internal and external resources. Thus, it is particularly important for organizations with hybrid cloud and multi-cloud environments where resources, apps, and data reside both on premises and in the cloud. So, when you say zero trust, it is yung information security model na tumatanggi or it denies access to application and data by default. So, naka-default na siyang magde-deny. Methods of access control. The methods of access control identifies users by verifying various login credentials, which can include usernames and passwords, pins, biometric scans, and security tokens. Many access control systems also include multi-factor authentication or MFA, a method that requires multiple authentication methods to verify a user's identity. So I guess nabasa ko na to kanina. And so let's move on to the next slide, which are it consists the two main methods of access control, which is the physical access control and logical access control. So the first one is the physical access control, which limits access to campuses, buildings, rooms, and physical IT assets. While the logical access control limits connections to computer networks, system, files, and data. So the most secured access control method is the mandatory access control. So nandun yan sa next. So I will just move on to the next. So there are three types of access control. The three main types of access control system are discretionary access control, or also known as DAC, mandatory access control, MAC, role-based access control, or RBAC. So the first one is the discretionary access control. With a discretionary access control system, the owner of the company can decide how many people have access to a specific location. Each access control point has a list of authorized users. Every time a key card is swiped, a pin is punched, or a fingerprint is scanned, the system checks the credential against the list and either allows or denies access based on the previously set allowances. The AC systems are considered to be the most flexible and offer the highest number of the allowances compared to other types of access control. Because it's the most flexible, it's also not as secure as some other types, especially mandatory access control systems. Since one person has total control over the system, he or she might grant access to someone who shouldn't have it. Discretionary access control systems are best for companies that expect the most ease of use and flexibility. So this is the discretionary access control is the most flexible or able to be easily modified. So ang problema kasi sa DAC is that yes, it is modernized. May paswipe sa pa ng card and then bubukas na, pero are they really authorized? I mean, sila ba talaga yung taong yun? Yung may permiso ba talaga sila na mag-open ng door, ganon, ng information? So, or even authenticated ba sila? So, yan ang mga questions because using of the AC. So, hindi ka sure kung that person is authorized, that person is authenticated, because card lang yung authorized. Card lang. And the person is hindi na-check, ganon. So, while the mandatory access control, or MAC, this is the system that is the strictest and the most secure type of access control, but they're also the most inflexible. So, in order to change permissions, the administrator has to reprogram the specific user's access, not just the security list at the entry point. MAC systems are primarily used by companies and agencies that require the utmost level of the security. Mandatory access control is a method of limiting access to resources based on the sensitivity of the information that the resource contains, and the authorization of the user to access information with that level of sensitivity. We define the sensitivity of the resource by means of security label. So, they have so much trust issues. So, umaabot pa na kapag mag-change permissions ka is kailangan pang i-reprogram yung access nila. So, the fact that it is so secured, it only means na marami silang inaalaga ang impormasyon, marami silang valuables doon sa kumpanyang iyon. That is why it is so secured. So, ganun lang yun. Well, the next one is the role-based access control, or RBAC, is quickly becoming the most popular type of access control. So, DAC is the most flexible, the MAC is the most secured, while the RBAC is the most popular. So, instead of assigning permissions to individual users like an MAC system, an RBAC system works by assigning permissions to a specific job title. It cuts down on the time required to set up or change user access. Control access based on the roles that users have within the system and on rules stating what accesses are allowed to users in given roles. So, dito, they are based on their specific job title. Their titles are their roles. It basically means that the way, if you're an auditor, what you have to do is to focus on your role as an auditor. Your job is to audit, so you have to audit. It also applies to the secretary, manager, and so many positions. So, kung ano lang yung position mo, dun ka lang. Yun ang role-based access control. So, issues and access control. The common problems or issues and mistake with access control systems. So, sinasabing marami daw na rason kung bakit yung organizations, business, company ay kailangan ng mag-upgrade ng kanilang access control systems. Kasi number one daw is your current access control system no longer meets your needs or hindi na naaabot yung mga pangangailangan mo. Mayroong mayroong sitwasyon na kung saan yung access control system is outdated na kailangan nang mag-adjust sa business security mo. So, the number one issues on access control is the theft and misuse of access cards. So, nakalagay na dyan is yung theft, kung saan it is yung pagnanakaw, and misuse is yung magamit sa maling paraan. And then, when access cards falls into the wrong hands, your access control system essentially fails in its primary function. So, why it is that the moment na mapasa kamay ng mapunta sa maling kamay yung cards, is that bakit sinasabing nag-fail na yung access control sa kanyang primary function. So, because yung primary function ng access control is to keep out unwelcome visitors. So, sa oras na mapunta yun sa kanila, it means that hindi na nagampanan ng access control yung function niya. And then, keycards can get stolen. Sinasabi nga dito na nananakaw naman talaga yung keycards. So, it can be stolen by people with criminal intentions. In the worst case scenario, these people will clone and make copies of the keycard, making your business vulnerable to unauthorized entry. So, ang ginagawa dito is kinakopy nila para magkaroon ng maraming access, maibigay nila sa kanilang mga partners, so that they will eventually parasite your business. So, uunti-untiin nila hanggang sa sila na. So, ganun. The next one is, to be frank, keycards lack true authorization because they can tell who the person is swiping the card. The best way to prevent keycard misuse is to upgrade to a system that uses more secure technology to identify visitors. And also, our recommendation is to choose systems that use biometric-based identification technologies like iris, face, and fingerprint readers for ultimate convenience, mobile access systems that use smartphone apps to manage access are worth looking into. So, sinasabi dun sa unang sentence is that they suggest na laging mag-upgrade ng keycards nila para of course, when you upgrade something, when you upgrade your technology, the outdated version is laging napag-aaralan. So, mas importante na nagbabago kayo upang nag-a-adjust sila at na pupostpone yung plan nila to infiltrate your company, your business. So, yung recommendation naman dito is yung gumamit daw ng system na kinakailangan yung biometric-based identification kung saan yung ini-scan yung mata, yung fingerprint, yung muka. Kasi especially yung fingerprint, diba? Because the fingerprint is unique. So, nagkakaiba-iba yung mga bawat tao. So, number 2 is the outdated, easy-to-hack access controls. So, if your access control system can be hacked using cheap devices, anyone can buy online. You need to upgrade it as a matter of urgency or ASAP, as soon as possible. Because such a system is no match for today's sophisticated criminal syndicates. To maintain secure business premises, you have to keep up with the latest advances in access control technology. That also means keeping the software your system runs on up to date. Outdated access control systems are easy to hack. They give you a false sense of security. So, upgrade with another vendor if your current access control system vendor does not upgrade their technology to modern standards. So, kailangan daw na you need to keep up to the modern. So, kailangan lagi kang sumusunod sa mga bagong access control because if you are updated, it means that it will be a new one. So, kapag new one, it means that hindi pa nila alam kung ano yun because yung mga outdated is napag-aaralan na nila, alam na nila. But if it's upgraded or updated, of course, mabibigla sila because it is new. And then yung next one is the poor integration with other smart building systems. So, the workplaces of the future will use smart technologies to connect all the system businesses used to run smoothly from your HVAC to your lighting, access control, inventory management, and payroll systems. To save energy and cost and to improve efficiency, it helps if your payroll system can talk with your access control system without your intervention. So, kinakailangan daw na yung workplace mo is that futuristic. So, kailangan unique yung mga technologies mo. So, yung halimbawa, yung wala sa iba. Para, di ba, mas maganda yung unique. And then, yung astig. Basta unique. Kasi, hindi pa nila, bago pa yan sa kanilang pandinig. But, if it is especially efficient to your company. As long as napapakinabangan mo, mas mahalaga yung naiiba. So, the next one is the appropriate role-based access. Users should only be given access to systems that they need to access and at a level that's appropriate to their role. Good practice is to ensure that access privileges are approved by sufficiently senior director or manager. So, ito yung role-based access. Kagaya nung kanina is that kailangan stick to your role, stick to your titles. What you have to do is to do your job. Yun lang. So, new employees or those changing roles should have approved documented access rights and they should be revoked across all systems for any leavers without delay. Finally, access privileges should be reviewed regularly and amended as part of the process of security governance. So, kapag yung mga bagong employees is kailangan magbago ng role, kailangan daw na magpa-approve ng documented access para sa karapatan na kailangan nilang mag-revoke across their system. And then, the next one is the poor password management. Password management is one of the most common mistake. Ito raw yung pinaka-common na pagkakamali kapag dating sa access control. When there are a lot of different systems that require password to access, then it's not uncommon for employees and even business owners to use the same password across the board. So, share lang sila ng password. Kasi 'di ba, kapag marami naman kasi nakakalimutan naman na talaga. So, talagang imposible naman na madaming password yung gagamitin. But I think it is necessary and the effective one kung gagamit ng more than one password. So, even when employees are required to change their password regularly, though, there's still the problem of using passwords that are weak and easy to crack. So, yung mga password na nagko-consist lang ng birthday, ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the password that is considered as the weak and easy to crack. So, using the same password across multiple systems is something that many people are guilty of. It's logical why people would do this since remembering multiple passwords can often be impractical. So, nagiging impractical kapag marami ka talagang ginagamit. Kasi, may mga bagay na kapag marami na, talagang makakalimutan mo na. So, but, yun yung problem or yung issue ng password na isa lang. Kasi, especially yung password is kaya mong i-share. Kapag sinabi mo, then the other can have it, and then they can open they can open the something that shouldn't be open. So, the next one is, may solution pa pala. So, the solution to this problem is to encourage the use of password keeper apps. This allows you and your employees to use unique, strong passwords for each system without the need to have them all memorized. But of course, you need to ensure that your keeper app is secure or you open up all the doors to your system. So, ang solution is the keeper apps. So, the next one is the poor user education. One of the most important aspects of improving the security of company data is educating your employees about risk. So, first, educate your employee na kailangan maging practical sila at ilayo yung maging loyal sila sa inyo at sa inyong business. Kasi kapag hindi naman sila loyal is that kahit anong pag-educate, kahit anong klaseng educate ang gawin, is that your employees can still expose your information, your business, to all this risk. So, your employees could easily be doing things that are putting your data at risk. So, yun nga, kahit ano talagang educate, kung ilalagay ka sa risk, is ilalagay ka sa risk. So, for example, people will often try to find a quicker and easier way to accomplish something, often not being aware of the risk they could be creating. This is why good training about risk is vital. So, human error is always one of the biggest security risks for any company. So, you should be very aware of this and take any steps you can to educate your employees, including risk training programs. So, kinakailangan ng risk training programs ng mga employee because yung mga information is hindi naman basta-basta. And then that as a employee, of course, you need to keep your loyalty, your whole mind to what you are doing. Kailangan is maging tapat ka that kahit anong educate or something is kailangan iisipin mong your job is a part of you. So, ganun. So, to help yourself, you must help them. And then, yun na lang pala. Thank you. Ay, meron pa. Okay. Oh, okay, pa. So, the next one is hacking. Access control systems can be hacked. When a system is hacked, a person has access to several people's information depending on where the information is stored. Wired reported how one hacker created a chip that allowed access into secure buildings. So, yung mga hacker is a very dangerous, intelligent people for me. they are so intelligent. And then that, kasi yung hacker is that kahit hindi mo naman ibigay yung exact password, is nagagawa nila ng paraan para makuha yung information mo. Just a little bit leak of your information and they will get everything from you. So, yun yung mga nagagawa nila. Kapag nahack na nila yung system mo, and then everything is done. Yun na yun. So, the next one is the improper setup. A business can run into a whole host of problems when an access control system isn't set up properly. Analyzing your specific needs, making the right choices, and designing the best system for you takes time and expertise. Plus, it should seamlessly integrate with your other business technologies. Whether it's not seeing vulnerabilities that have accidentally been exposed, selecting the wrong technology, selecting the wrong equipment, or not properly integrating the access control system with other building technologies, it's vital that an access control system is set up properly to avoid issues down the road. So, kailangan is your good setup. So, of course, your business have to be flawless. Kapag dating sa mga technologies, yung system nila, kailangan is that may proper setup naman. Like, for example, yung mga machinery ninyo is that nasa tamang pagkakaayos. Ganun. The next one is the not secure enough. So, without proper setup, a business access control systems can have a wide range of vulnerabilities, from easily compromised passwords to poor judge management and even the use of keycards. Businesses can fall short in providing the most secure and optimized access control system. So, kapag not secure enough, so, for example, na dito is your phone, especially your phone, di ba? Madali namang kausap yung phone. Example natin yung phone. So, kapag walang, so, halimbawa, yung security type mo is pattern. So, yung pattern is kapag pa-L lang yung pattern mo, so madali siyang makrack, di ba? And then, ganon. So, madali lang hulaan yung mga password, kaya nakukuha. And then, kung sakaling nakuha na nila yung pattern mo, hindi naman na nila ibabalik yung phone mo. Kaya, mas mahalaga yung secure enough. Example na ay, mahalaga yung secure enough. Pero, in business terms, kapag not secure enough ka, madaling ma-penetrate or madaling ma-infiltrate yung business mo. Which is, magiging troublesome for you. So, the number 9, which is lack of management. To use access control systems properly, businesses need someone who is dedicated to being the manager. The access control system manager plays an important role as the one who is keeping track of visitors in the building or area, managing the roles and levels of access to employees and vendors, managing lost password identification, managing data, and more. So, kinakailangan ng dedicated enough na manager. Yung may driven with passion na manager. So, kasi, kapag, diba, dedicated enough sila, is nagagawa nila ng maayos yung mga trabaho nila. So, especially sa pagmamanage, kapag nagmamanage ka, is parang ikaw na lang din naman yung leader. So, they would follow you, they would, yung susunod sila sa'yo, because you are a good follower. So, you are a good leader. So, kinakailangan na meron na manager sa isang to use access control system. So, additionally, access control system require regular maintenance and check-ups. So, if a system or technology is not up to date, it can cause issues with the system function which then compromises security. So, kinakailangan daw na updated. Kasi nga, magkakaroon ng problema kapag hindi makapag-adjust sa mga security needs yung access control ninyo.
So, good day. I am the next reporter for Group 1. So, for today, I will tackle about the access control for employee. So, when we say employee, it pertains to a person who paid to work for another. So, when we say naman na access control, it is the most crucial assets of the company and hold a significant value. So, pag sinabi natin crucial, it is the most important. So, let us discuss the access control for employees. So, number 1, custom business hours. Only allow your employees to access your business during set business hours. So, dapat mag-set ng oras yung mga employers, sa mga employees. Halimbawa, the starts of business is 8 a.m. and it ends with 12 a.m. for noon break. So, dito, mababawasan yung risk ng fraud and mga mismanagement. So, also by setting business hours, you can receive an alert if your business is not open or closed by a specific time. So, parang mag-alert siya, ma-alert yung isang employer kapag yung business is not open, kapag di pa nag-open sa specific time o di pa nag-close sa specific time. Dapat magkaroon talaga ng custom business hours. So, next is employee user control. So, manage employee access by giving each employee a unique user code. So, dapat each individual employee has a unique user code. Hindi pwedeng one user code to individual. So, dapat 1:1. Because this will allow you to track employees para malaman mo kung ano yung mga ginagawang activity ng mga empleyado mo sa mag-ahapon na yon. So, easily add or remove codes as the need arises. So, madaling ma-add or ma-remove kung may mga emergency o may mga nang-hack ng system. So, employee safety. No one should feel unsafe at work. Give your employees the ultimate peace of mind by installing an access system that allows only authorized people access to your facility. So, needed talaga yung mga employee mo, dapat ma-feel nila na safe sila sa company mo. So, para ma-feel nila yun, ikaw na bilang isang may-ari is mag-install ka ng mga access system na dapat ang mga pinapapasok lamang ay yung mga authorized na mga tao doon. So, create a lockdown system that can be used in the event of an emergency. So, kapag may mga natural disaster or mga pangsasabotage, dapat may lockdown system para maprotektahan mo yung mga employee mo as well as the company na rin. So, simplify employee turnover. So, it's never easy when employee leaves, but it's a common occurrence, especially in a high turnover industry. So, may mga di rin maiwasan sa mga company or sa mga business na may mga employees na nagre-resign or talagang nagre-retired na. So, para mas maging mabilis yung transition is i-delete na lahat ng access o yung mga events na meron yung dating employee. So, mas mabuti yung bigyan mo ng maganda at simpleng access or isang website na madaling ma-access nyo yung bagong empleyado. So, access level for different areas. Not all areas of your business need to be accessed by all employees. So, create multiple access to protect their higher security areas with our easy-to-use system. So, hindi lahat ng mga empleyado is may access sila sa yung company or business. So, you need to cast a multi-level access to protect higher security ng system mo. Kasi baka yung may isa sa mga empleyado mo na biglang mag-traitor, so mas mabuti na yung mas alert ka, tsaka mas advanced ka. So, yun lang. Next. So, operational security controls. Pag sinabing operational is, hinimitin nila yung seguridad at integrity ng mga IT system facilities, mga data centers especially, and equipment are paramount to protecting personal data. So, needed talagang protektahan yung mga personal data. So, data breaches can come from multiple internal and external sources, including employees who fail to follow security procedures. hackers who gain to access inadequately protected database, and thieves who steal unsecured portable devices. So, needed talaga yung yung operational security controls. So, in order to reduce that threat, kailangan mag-employ ng mga measures to prevent, detect, mitigate, respond to the third-party attacks, mga unauthorized access, saka yung mga malicious or mga fraudulent na mga gumagamit. So, next. So, operational control must address both physical and virtual. So, sa virtual, meron tayong tatlo. Access control, identity access management on all workstations, firewalls, and intrusion detection system. So, sa access control, meron tayong yung access control identity access management is the discipline of managing access to enterprise resources to keep system and data secure. So, para ma-secure, kailangan munang ma-verify yung mga user identities before nating i-grant para maka-access sa system. So, next is firewall. So, the network security device that monitors and files incoming and outgoing network based on organization previously established security policy. So, itong firewall is the most basic and barrier that is between private and internal network and public internet. So, itong firewall makikita natin sa computer kapag nagkakalikod ka and may mga gusto mag-access. So, ito, protection siya. Parang barrier siya ng firewall. So, next is addition for firewall is provides protection against cyber attack. So, mga mahilig manghahack sa mga computer, internet. So, protection siya and shield siya sa computer na meron ka sa mga kahina-hinalang mga networks or mga fraud network. So, intrusion detection system, IDS, device or software application that monitors a network malicious action policy validation. So, violation, So, dito naman sa IDS, i-monitor nila yung mga kahina-hinalang mga networks. Physical assets. Any security management strategy should also seek to implement measures that address the following concerns and building and asset security, visitor to any physical data center, card personalization centers, or other ID facilities and assets should be required to gain access through a rigorous building security process, and once admitted, be restricted to a specific area, asset, or system based on their role and purpose. So, kapag pumasok sila sa yung mga bisita is nag-undergo sila sa mga security process. Kapag na-admit na, may mga restricted area o kaya mga specific area na di pwede mong i-access or system na pwede mo access base sa yung mga roles o kaya yung purpose mo sa pagpunta doon. So, policies and processes related to access control are only effective if they well understood and regularly practiced by staff. Security training should be provided to all staff on an ongoing basis. So, dapat yung mga policies and processes ay dapat naiintindihan ng mga staff natin tapos naipapractice regularly. So, kailangan din nating i-train sila, yung mga staff on an ongoing basis. So, staff security is a concern for everyone, particularly staff within ID facilities. Staff should be knowledgeable, vigilant, and able to understand organizational objectives with regards to security. So, kapag pumasok ka sa staff security, yung mga tao doon, ng mga staff, is dapat may alam. And alerto sila. At naiintindihan nila yung mga objectives na meron sa seguridad. Kasi, kung pupunta ka roon na wala kang alam, pwedeng ma-risk mo yung seguridad ng isang business or company. So, dapat be vigilant and knowledgeable. So contractors or suppliers, like example, engineer, cleaning staff, etc., are regularly working within ID facilities. Their credentials should be checked to ensure that the risk of a breach is mitigated. So, para maiwasan yung breach is dapat sino-check rin yung mga credentials ng mga contractors, kagaya ng mga cleaning staff or engineers. So, even with adequate safeguards or oversight, it is possible to make a digital system completely immune from a breach. So, let me discuss to you the types of safes. So, we have two types of safe. Number one is home safes or residential safes, and number two is business safe or commercial safe. So, in home safe, there are four basic types. We have fire safe, burglary safe, gun safes, and jewelry safe. So, if you only want to protect important documents such as the will of testament, contract, automobiles, and etc., and pamprotection sa mga magnanakaw, you might only need a simple fire safe. So, burglar safe or burglar fire safe. So, a burglary safe is more secure than the simple fire safe. So burglary safe is mas secure compared to simple fire safe. So, they are heavier, and in the safe world, kapag heavy, it equates to more secure. So, as you can see in the photo, the burglary safe is a well-built safe that are made of steels and talagang mabibigat sila. So, burglary safe are usually concealed in some manner. So, nakatago yung burglary safe. So, there are three main burglary type home. Number one is standalone, number two, wall safe, and number three is floor safe. So, most of the safes are fire-proof, not just fire-resistant. So, bago ka bumili ng mga safe is mas mabuting i-check mo muna and i-test mo muna kung fire-proof and fire-resistant talaga siya. Next, so we have standalone home safe. This type is heavy and usually made of steel, and it can be fireproof and can be fitted with a wide array of locking device from key lock to combination lock and even all types of fancy electronics. So, as I said a while ago, the safe are usually made of steel and fireproof. So, this standalone home safe, meron siyang combination ng mga lock, mga numbers, and pwede rin siyang key lock o kaya mga electronic locks. So, generally, can be mounted on the floor or any other surface. Pwede siyang naka-attach sa wall, pwede siyang nakalagay sa may surface, pero mas kadalasan silang nakatayo lang, standing lang. This versatile safe can be easily located in almost any out-of-the-way place. Just to make sure you have room to open the door fully. Also, keep in mind that you may want to move it at some time, so bear it in when buying. So, kung gusto mong bilhin yan, and siguraduhin mo na kapag bibili ka and ililipat-lipat mo, isipin mo na lang na pag bumili ka, so bear in mind that when you buy, so this versatile safe can be easily located in most any out-of-the-way place, just to make sure you have room to open the door fully. Also, in mind that you may want to move it at some time. So, kung gusto mong bumili dyan, as ilipat-lipat mo, hindi mo talaga agad malilipat yan kasi masyadong mabigat ang mga standalone safe at iba pang safe. So, wall safe. So, this is a very popular way to hide important documents and other valuables in the home. So, may mga yayaman na mas kadalasan ginagamit ang wall safe. Makikita ang wall safe katulad na lang ng mga nakikita ko sa movie na nasa likod ng mga painting, nasa likod ng mga cabinet, mga secret doors, secret walls, ganon. So, yun din nalalagay din sa mga wall safe yung mga important documents o kaya yung mga valuable things. So, people employ this type of safe to conceal their valuables inconspicuously out of the sight. So, mas maganda ang wall safe kasi hindi agad-agad siya makikita ng mga tao, lalo na kung nasa tagong lugar ito. So, mas better din ang wall safe kaysa sa floor safe kasi mas convenient ito. So, for even more security, it can be concreted into place. So, pwede rin siyang naka-attach na and concreted na sa place. So, floor safe, this type can actually be embedded into a concrete floor. This makes them very immune to removal. So, as you can see in the photo, yung floor safe is nasa side talaga. Pwede siyang nasa kwarto, nasa kusina, nasa sala, basta naka-mount siya sa floor. So, Yung disadvantage lang ng floor safe is kapag lumipas na ang mga taon, matagal nang hindi na pwedeng kakalawangin. Kasi yun yung pagkaka-install nasa ilalim. So next is gun safes. So itong mga gun safe is mas sila sa mga AFP, mga police, yung mga trabahong nasa law enforcement o kaya yung iba collection lang, ginagamit yung mga nangongolekta lang ng mga baril. So these gun safes come in various size, strength of security, fire resistance, and fire ranges. So a gun safe is most often necessary to keep your weapons out of the hands of children. So yung purpose ng gun safe is mailayo yung baril or baka kasi mahawakan ng mga bata. Yung may makita silang baril, paglaruan, and then pwede pang may masamang mangyari doon sa mga kabataan. So yun, yung mga police or yung mga soldiers or any types of work na may gumagamit ng gun is meron dapat na gun safe for protection. That's not just only for you, but for also the people that surrounds you. So if that is your only concern when you need not to worry yourself with fire resistance values are the use of highly secure locking mechanism. Of course, if you have valuable collection, so sabi ko nga kanina, kung may mga collection ka ng mga baril, pwede mo yung itago doon para mas organized and hindi pa kalat-kalat. Kaya baka may bata mong paglaruan pa yun, makadiscuss ka pa. Talk to your locksmith about the fire resistance and fireproof ratings of the various models. The size of your collection will also help determine which model to choose.
So next is jewelry safe. So the local jeweler used to be the most common user of a jewelry safe. So kadalasan makikita natin ang mga jewelry safe sa mga pawn shop, mga jewelry shop sa mga mall, ganon. So today, affluently, citizens in all countries have turned to jewelry safe for protecting their valuable and often priceless jewels and other valuables. They are fairly expensive, but if you have fine jewelry, the expense can be justified. So, ito kasi yung nasa photo is yung modern type na ng jewelry safe. So, meron din siyang type noon na ginagamit yung jewelry safe noon, kagaya nung nasa Titanic, nung kinuha nung I don't remember the name of the man, but nung kinuha nung lalaki yung necklace doon bibigay niya kay Rose, makikita natin doon yung jewelry safe. Made siya ng wood o kaya ng velveted na color, basta color velvet interiors na nasa loob. So parang foam, parang nasa foam. So yun yung kadalasang ginagamit noon. Nung mga panahon pa yon, mga wood made and with velvet interior. Pero ngayon kasi pinag-uusapan natin ay mga jewelry, mga mamahaling diamonds, bracelet, hikaw. So mas magandang gamitin ang mga jewelry safe na gawa sa mga steel. So most jewelry safes are beautiful in themselves. The interiors of these units are delicate and easy not only on the jewelry but on the eyes as well. Many have beautiful wood and velvet interiors. So as I said nga, may mga gawa sa wood noong unang panahon, mga velvet interiors. Pero yung mga magagandang quality is heavy duty steel na dapat yung mga ginagamit, lalo na sa jewelries. So look for flexible drawer layouts that can accommodate your own collection as it changes through the years. Make sure to install the safe where it is well hidden yet very accessible to you. So, huwag ka naman maglagay ng jewelry safe na kitang-kita ng mga bisita mo o kaya ng mga maid, ganon. Dapat yung mga jewelry safe mo is hidden, nakatago. Pero, madali mong ma-access kung kinakailangan mo ng kunin yung mga valuable things mo. So, make sure talaga na meron kang enough room para ma-open mo yung door fully. So, arrange the doorways to keep your valuables organized and to prevent unnecessary stooping. So, mas magandang i-arrange mo yung mga valuables mo na organized para mas magandang tingnan. So, we now come to types of safe in business safe or commercial safe. So, most business safe requires a much higher level security than owners. Siyempre, sa business, marami na dapat na kinakailangang maproteksyonan. Hindi katulad nung nasa home. So, they process and save documents that have tax ramification as well as store higher cash money on a daily basis. So, syempre, ang isang business, araw-araw siyang nagigay ng money or nakapaggawa ng money sa isang araw. So, marapat lamang na proteksyonan natin yung mga perang inipon natin sa araw-araw. So, various unique vault and safe issues can be very important in situation like this. Most business utilize an alarm system in conjunction with their money safe or vault. So, yung iba na mga business owner ay naglalagay sila ng mga alarm o kaya yung mga tipong kapag may nagnakaw and may nahawakan na kahit anong money or any kind of valuable things, pila na lang magwawangwang na or mag-alarm or basta magtutunog. So, parang maa-alerto yung mga tao or yung guard na naroon kung sakaling may magnakaw man. So, many of the home safes that we have discussed previously are used by businesses. So, may mga home safe frame na ginagamit sa businesses, pero yung sa maliliit lamang na mga business. Pero, kapag naman yung mga malalaki, dapat yung mga pang business safe use na. So, you may have heard some of these safes are office safe. Mayroong office safe, drop safe, deposit safe, rotary, hotel safe. Familiar na tayo sa bank vault. Yun ang parating narinig natin, mga bank vault. So, next. So, bank vault. A bank vault is a different from a conventional safe, and in that it is an integral part of the building that it is in. So, kung ang mga home safe is nalilipat-lipat ang iba at ang iba naka-attach sa mga walls, mga floors, ganon. Ito naman na bank vault is parte na ng building. So, nung nagtayo sila ng mga ng building, mga companies, andun na yung bank vault. So, tinatawag rin itong strong room. It is in fact an armor room with a heavy, diba? Kung makikita ninyo, napakabigat ng door ng bank vault, and marami rin siya mga complex locking mechanism. So, here is an interesting quote from Wikipedia about vaults. Historically, strong rooms were built in the basement of a bank where the ceilings were bolted, hence the name. Modern bank vaults typically contain many safe deposit boxes, as well as place for teller cash and other valuable assets of the bank or each customer. So, hindi lang nasa bank yung bank vault. Pwede rin siyang makikita rin siya sa mga grand hotels, yung mga rare book libraries. Siyempre, kung rare naman talaga yung mga books, yung mga sinaunang mga panahon pa, or yung mga author is mga scientists, it should be kept in a bank vault and other government ministry. So, next is office safes. Office safes is typically a stronger version of home safe. So, usually, they are five-proof. Kasi, yung mga office safe is mga about documents, mga ganon, mga important contracts, titles, and others. So, their fire ratings are usually much higher. In most cases, they are drop tested to verify that they will not unlock when dropped from a specific height. So, tinetest din yung office safe kapag inihulog siya sa mataas na building or sa mataas na height para masigurado na hindi mabubuksan, or tinetest siya para masigurado na hindi mabubuksan or ma-unlock yung office safes. And the locking mechanism is usually more secure than a home safe. So, mas secure kumpara dun sa home safe. So, most of these utilize an electronic lock of some kind. Kung sa mga simple is mga kinakailangan ng mga key, mga combination, kung kinakailangan din ito ng mga combination, pero mas more electronic locks ang gamit nila. So, hotel safe, these inexpensive safes are provided by hotels so that their lodgers can have secure place to put their valuables during their stay. So, sa Hotel Safe is nagpo-provide din sila ng mga safe. So, kinakailangan yung mga safe para kapag may mga businessman or mga important na mga person na bumibisita or nag-i-stay sa isang hotel is may paglalagyan sila ng mga valuables na importante sa kanila. So, they are not really very secure, but it beats leaving your valuables laying around. So, hindi masyadong secure yung hotel safe. So, kapag maraming beses ka nang nag-type ng combination, mag-automatic lockout yun. So, yung mga guest is nakalimutan yung mga combination lock. So, magbibigay ng Mastercard or key yung front desk para mabuksan yun. So, masyadong mababa ang quality ng security ng mga safe na yun kasi alam ng mga desk officer or ng company na meron silang parang duplicate. So, mababa talaga. So, media safe. Media safe or data safe. They are state-of-the-art and can be quite expensive. Mahal yung mga media safe. So, dito sa media safe, nilalagay dito yung mga digital na mga media. So, halimbawa, computers, video, films, hard drive, disc, mga DVD, CDs, and any types of film. So, in today's data-centric world, the data safe is quickly becoming the most important addition to any business. So, importante na talaga ang media or data safe. Kasi, kapag nagkaroon ng natural emergency or natural fire, pwede rin masabi natin natural ang fire or pwede rin na sabotage. Kung nakalagay sa mga data safe yung mga importante, pwede pang masave. Kasi kung hindi nakalagay doon is parang malulug at magsisimula sa zero yung pagbangon ng company. So, next is draft safes or pwede rin deposit safe, depository safe, draft slot safe. So, ito, ginagamit to yung sa mga banks or postal. So, anywhere that a quick secure deposit need to be made without opening the safe. So, ito, hindi naman kailangan na i-open yung door. So, meron siyang, as you can see in the photo, meron siyang parang drop box or small hatch and then ihulog mo lang yung gusto mong ihulog. So, ito kasi, di naman to yung doon na mismo maghulog. Kumbaga, temporary muna. So, temporary muna ilalagay dyan and deliver niya sa bank or sa King Onong safe. So, ito pang temporary, pang transfer lang siya. Pang transfer. So, sana na nalaman niyo ang mga different types of safe and kung bumabalak kayo na bumili ng safe, pwede niyong i-consider yung mga diniscuss ko about sa pagpili ng mga safe. So, dito naman tayo sa access control advancement from traditional approaches to fine-grained access control. So, introduction of access control. The access control is defined as any physical or logical mechanism by which a system controls and manages the access and the use of its resources. This mechanism allows the system to grant or revoke privilege of active entities to access or to perform some action on passive entities. The mechanism is also identified as authorization service or reference monitor that generally enforces access control policies. So, a security policy has to identify for a specific system that security objectives and associated threats. So, the policy acts mainly on 3 levels: administrative, physical, logical, and administrative level. So, in physical, we need to define the necessary procedures and means to protect the set of resources from physical risk and accesses. So, physical level, kailangan nating maprotektahan yung mga resources na meron tayo sa mga physical risks. So, mga sira, mga pag-access ng mga system. So, finally, in logical level, we define legitimate and authorized as action as a user can perform. So, dito naman, gumagamit tayo ng mga authorization action bago maka access yung ibang tao. So this level contains a set of security mechanisms such as the identification, authentication, and access controls. So, di ba? Bago muna ang lahat is, i-identify muna kung anong tao yung mag-a-access. And kapag na-identify na, i-authenticate na siya. So, pag na-authenticate na, pwede siya makapag-access control. Yun lang. So, advanced access control. Advanced access control solution should provide an efficient, flexible access control with a reasonable overhead for ensuring the higher protection of private data and sensitive resources. So, dito na sa advanced control is dapat ma-ensure na mataas yung protection niya sa mga private data kasi para, lalo na yung mga sensitive resources, para hindi ma-hack or ma-damage yung mga data. From a security perspective, we consider that a reliable and trusted access control in the infrastructure for future information system should take into account several requirements and should provide a minimum of security features. The concept of security has substantially upgraded because of technology advancement. So, yung security is kumbaga na-upgrade na dahil sa mga technological advancement na meron tayo. So, hindi naman siya gaya ng na-upgraded nung nasa ibang bansa, pero at least na-upgraded din ng yung dito sa atin. So, we have seen a shift from mechanical locks to electronic locks in the door access control system, which are more relied upon nowadays for watertight security and safety. So, dati, mga mechanical locks lang, so mga kandado, ganun. Pero ngayon, mga electronic na yung mga locks natin and yung mga door control. Meron na rin siya mga fingerprint, mga palm print, mga yung itatapat mo lang yung eye mo sa scan na, yun, parang ganun na. Mas secure yung safety ng isang company kasi mas advanced na. So, but choosing the system that is the best for you requires understanding how both these technologies work. So, ano nga ba yung mga traditional locks? So, what are the traditional locks? So, traditional locks are mechanical locks having strong metal deadbolts. So, meron siyang knob locks, meron siyang levers. So, makikita natin yung mga traditional locks dati sa mga gate, mga kandado, mga nasa school, mga ganun. So, mechanical locks are easy to install and can protect houses and small offices. So, yung mga mechanical locks, so, mga houses, pwede niyang maprotektahan and mga small offices. Pero, madaling makopy yung keys niya. Madaling gayahin. So, kung sino man ang makakuha ng keys mo and i-duplicate ito, meron ka ng access doon sa office na yun or sa house na yun. So, kumbaga, yun din ang disadvantages ng traditional locks is madaling kopyahin yung key. So, inside, the only advantages of mechanical lock is their very modesty price. So, if your security requirements are very complex, the mechanical locks can serve you well. So, yung price is, yung main advantage ng mechanical locks is, kumbaga, yung price is affordable kasi mababa lang yung price niya. So, kung hindi mo naman kailangan ng mga masyadong maraming mga locks na mga complex na, mas okay na yung mechanical locks. So, next. So, the new age electronic locks. So, kanina pinag-usapan natin yung mga mechanical locks o yung mga traditional locks. So, dito naman tayo sa makabagong locks, mga new age na, mga with electronic na or digital na. So, electronic or digital door locks give you increased control over who can enter your premises, extending great security and accessibility. Dito, mas secure yung secure yung premises mo, yung bahay mo, ganon. Kasi, yung mismong lock, ay yung mismong door na mismo ang nag-increase ng control doon. So, they are operate using cards or biometrics. So, minsan, gumagamit ng mga key cards. Yung sa hotel, di ba? Swipe lang. Pag may key card mo, swipe mo lang and open na yan. Minsan din, biometrics. Palm print, pwedeng tatapat mo lang. Pwedeng fingerprint lang. Or itong eye natin, itatapat mo lang and scan and boom, pwede ka lang pumasok. So, cards cannot be copied without the owner of the manufacturer's knowledge. So, isa na rin to sa advantages ng new age. Kasi, yung keycard mo ay hindi agad-agad makakopy kung walang pahintulot ng may-ari at ng manufacturer. So, di katulad kanina, yung mechanical locks is madaling kopyahin, madaling ikopyahin. Kahit, kasi gawa pa, mo lang sa locksmith, and then, kopyahin, di ba, may access ka na. Pero itong cards, di ka agad-agad makakapasok. Kasi mahirap kopyahin. So, some smart digital locks also provide information on who access your door and when and any attempts of forced entry. So, may mga digital locks tayo na nagpo-provide sila ng information kasi advanced na. Halimbawa ako, trinay kong buksan yung bahay ng isang mayaman na kapitbahay namin. So, yun, makikita na dun yung mukha ko, kung bakit ko yung binubuksan, makikita dun kung nakailang attempt ako ng pagbukas nung door, ganon. So, although more costly than traditional locks, electronic locks are better option and investment. So, dito sa new age, electronic locks, mahal kumpara sa mechanical locks. Pero, yung seguridad na ibibigay sila talagang mataas. Talagang mataas yung may ibibigay sa yung security ng electronic locks kaysa sa mga traditional or mechanical locks. So, access control is a comprehensive system of security that covers all doors or access point of your premises. So, yung access control, kinocover niya lahat ng mga doors o kaya yung mga points ng premises. Only allows entry people who are registered in the system. So, kapag hindi ka registered sa system na yun, hindi ka makakapasok. Kasi dapat yung mga registered person or people lang ang pwedeng makapasok. So, exercise surveillance in terms of IDing each user requesting access and maintains detailed records of all transactions done on the system. So, nagkakaroon din sila ng mga surveillance. At yung mga nare-request, kailangan din yung mga ID bago ka maka-access doon. So, the elements required for installing and operating an access control system are the access reader. This is installed on or beside the door to the access point, is connected to the electric lock and acts upon the instruction program into it by the administrator. So, yung access reader nasa taas siya ng door or beside ng door. Makikita. So, yun, mag-a-act lang yun kapag may instruction na nakaprogram doon sa administrator. So, the access key. An RFID reader uses an RFID card key and biometric reader uses as biometric identifier. So, sabi ko nga, yung access key naman, ginagamit is fingerprint. Fingerprint, ito, kung alin dyan. And then, palm print ito. So, the control panel, this stores all the information of the access key, employees, visitors, etc. and reads commands from the key and send it to the reader. So, ito naman, in-store niya lahat ng information kung sino yung mga pumasok ng mga employee, mga visitor, mga access keys, kung ano mga access kang ginamit, kanon. So, in-store niya lahat. So, the electronic lock, the access control door locks are controlled by control panel. So, itong control door locks, kontrolado siya ng control panel. So, access control systems go beyond electronic lock as they bring your entire premises under one security framework for convenient monitoring. So, madali lang. Kapag may access control ka, madali lang yung pag-monitor mo. At mas convenient yun kaysa sa manual or mga mechanical locks. So, biometric access control. Bakit nga ba yung biometric access control yung pinaka-the best? So nakalagay dito na, biometrics, the science of evaluating features of the human body to establish your identity. So, biometric nung nagpa-national ID tayo, di ba? Pinag-anon yung mukha, yung mga handprints natin, yung mga lahat. So, yun. Dahil doon, ina-identify. So, kinokollect lahat ng mga nasa parting body mo para ma-identify, nakatutulong yun para ma-identify. So, biometric technology has been earning immense approval all over the world in the last 2 decades. From quick access to managing records of visitors, biometric does it all, making it the best access control system in use. So, dati, minamanage so, pagkasurat-surat, magsisay sa mga tao, kung sino yung mga tao, anong mga pangalan, so mano-mano. Pero dito, madaling ma-record yung mga best visitors. So, as a general practice, companies looking to install biometric security solution should consider the following points to make their decision is easier and more accurate. So, bago ka mag-install, kung may nag-gesture ka, consider mo muna itong mga decision. So, number 1, the purpose of which the system is to be installed. Ano ba yung purpose niya? Ano ba yung purpose nung pag-install mo nun ng biometric security? Number 2, the group of employees who will be using it. Kung kukunti lang naman, bakit ka pa magba-biometrics? Diba? Dapat, makikita ko sa mga biometric access control is nasa mga school, meron yan. Kasi malaki. Hindi naman pwede magmano-manong mag-record, no? So, pwede sa school. Pero kung kukunti lang naman yung mga mag-access, no need na. So, the area and scale where it is going to function. So, understanding biometrics access control mechanism. According to reports, biometrics verification was first encouraged by law enforcement agencies in 1880s? The 1880s to identify criminals. So, biometric pala. Matagal na pala yung biometric verification ginagamit tong 1880s para ma-identify yung mga criminals. Later, it was adopted by businesses and large companies for recording the attendance of their employees and maintaining records. So, dati, noong 1880s, pang-identify lang siya ng mga criminal. Pero, ngayong nasa present is, ginagamit na rin siyang record ng mga employees na papasok. Kasi, sabi ko nga kanina, nung nasa school, di ba may biometric, katulad din yan ng nasa business. Di mo na kailangan magmano-mano, magsulat, anong pangalan, kailan dumating. Yun, automatic. Palm print, fingerprint, okay na yun. Madali nang ma-track yung attendance ng mga employees na papasok at ma-maintain yung mga records. So, today, technological advancements have developed biometric access control and security system that can analyze an array of biometric identifiers. So, marami nang na-develop na mga biometric access control. So, sabi ko nga kanina, may facial recognition. So may facial recognition, itatapat mo lang yung mukha mo and i-scan, parang scan lang yung mukha mo. And then, pag okay na, authorize ka nang pumasok. So, pag fingerprint recognition naman, sabi ko nga, yung fingerprint, pwedeng ito, o mas prefer mo kung lahat ba ng fingerprint mo. Kung ito, okay lang yun basta. Basta fingerprint. Basta, pag na-recognize yung print mo and ma-authenticate na ikaw yun, so, makakapasok ka na. So, may mga ibang country na di voice recognition na lang. So, may sabi na lang na i-record mo muna yung voice mo and then pag okay na, itry mong i-command. Tingnan mo kung yung voice mo and then yung voice mong na-record and yung voice mo ngayon is mag-saktong-sakto. Kasi minsan, may mga voice recognition na baka ginaya lang yung boses mo. So, voice recognition, pwede rin yun. So, iris recognition. So, pag iris recognition, itong ating mata. Iris recognition. And then, retinal scan dito rin sa ating mata. So, for further explanation, so the easiest to install and most common biometric access is fingerprint recognition. So, pinaka-common daw yung fingerprint. Kasi, marami na talagang gumagamit ng mga fingerprint para nagba-biometric access control. So, they are highly preferred by organizations of all scales and sizes and are easy for employees to operate as well. Next in line is facial recognition, which is slightly expensive due to its equipment and tech, but highly adapted nevertheless. So, maganda yung facial recognition, pero masyado kasing mahal kasi dahil sa technology. So this has become possible due to facial unlocking system flooding the smartphones market and making this technology more normalized, plus the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic that surged the demands for contactless solution everywhere. So, mas the best tong facial recognition sa cellphone, diba natin, may mga ibang cellphone, ibang model na kinakailangan mas tatapat mo lang yung mukha. Pero nga po ng cellphone mo, tapos kan tapat mo lang yung cellphone sa mukha ng ayari and taling open, di ba? So, lalo na sa panahon ngayong COVID kasi bawal yung makipag-contact. Mayroon na contact dun sa other person. So, mas okay yung facial recognition. So, insight, for this reason, many biometric access control system manufacturers develop scalable devices that can accommodate multiple identifiers as per the client necessities. So, ito mayroong mga biometric access control na nakaka-develop ng mas maraming identifiers hanggang sa as per the client necessities. So, a unique benefit of the voice recognition component in access control is convenience with fun. We cannot deny the expediency of Hello Google, Hey Siri, and Alexa in Google Assistant and Apple's voice recognition facilities. Voice recognition is comparatively costlier access control mechanism, and so small companies hesitate to employ it. So, diba, may mga cellphone na gumagamit ng Hello Google, Hey Siri, ano nga Hello Siri, what is the weather ngayon dito sa Philippines, Alexa. So, Alexa, play music. Alexa, ganito, ganyan. So, madali. So, insight in voice recognition is a developing technology and it can become cost-efficient in the future. So, mahal. Kasi nagde-develop pa yung voice recognition. So, baka mas magmahal in the future. So, both iris recognition and retinal scan are ocular-based biometric identification technology that seems similar but actually quite different. Magkaiba raw yung iris recognition and retinal scan. So, a retinal scan is performed by casting a beam of low-energy infrared light into a person's eye as they look through a scanner's eyepiece at close range. So, sabi ko nga, yung itatapat mo yung mata mo sa scanner and then parang may ilaw na mag-i-scan yan, magaganyan, and then scan. So, dapat mababa lang yung beam ng infrared kasi person's eye yan. Dapat mababa lang kasi baka ma-damage. So, scanning uses camera technology to obtain a detailed rich image mapping. Iris scanning uses a camera technology to obtain a detailed rich image mapping out the intricate structure of the iris. So, dito naman sa iris scanning is, kumbaga, detailed yung image dapat makapi sa eye, detail. Kaya yung sa retina is scan lang ng eye, close range. Pero dito, mas detailed dapat yung image na mamap sa structure na meron kang sa iris mo. A retina scan is performed by casting a beam. So, retina scanning is more invasive than iris scanning because the retina is positioned at the back of the eye. So, iris scan takes a picture of the iris from a distance, whereas retina scanning takes a picture of the iris by putting the person's eye close to the scanner. So, yung retina, nagtitake siya ng picture by putting a person's eye to close to the scanner. So yung person's eye to the scanner. Company looking to install these two systems should consider the users as retina scanning works the best for in-person authentication and iris scanning can be done digitally. So, parang mas the best yung pag-install ng retina scanning and iris scanning. So, how does access control transcend all other locking system? The number of benefits that modern access control system offer is quite evident. They encompasses all features of traditional as well as electronic locks and amplify security to a significant level. Moreover, biometric access control raises the bar by eliminating the risk of keys, proximity cards getting stolen, and enforcing identity-based access so that only the one who is authorized can enter. So, habang tumatagal, yung access control is nagmo-modern. Nung una is yung traditional locks lang, mga mechanical locks lang, deadbolts, ganun. So, pero nag-upgrade to electronic locks na meron na siyang mga significant level, pwede nang yung electronic locks, pero mas more over na mas mataas yung seguridad ng biometric access control. Kasi yung biometric access control is mababawasan niya yung pag-risk ng mga keys na nawawala, mga cards na nanakaw. Ito kasing biometric access control is yung identity based. So, yung mismong fingerprint, palm, eye, retina, yun. Yung basehan niya para makapasok ka. Kasi kapag na-scan yun and na-authenticate is authorized ka na pumasok sa mga premises or sa company.